All right, good afternoon, everybody. I can't see anybody out there, but those lights are bright. But again, good afternoon. We are excited at the University of Pittsburgh to be here today. It's, again, the start of a 2025 season. We bring in a healthy, fresh, energized football team that has a ton of optimism going into this 25 season. We return a lot of great players on our football team. I think number one, and number two, I think we bring back an entire coaching staff of 10 guys, which doesn't happen all the time. So to have our entire coaching staff back at Pitt, we're excited. It's a heck of a conference. Commissioner's done a great job. You know, again, blessed to be going into my 11th season at Pitt, and under the leadership of our chancellor and our athletic director, Alan Green. They've been outstanding, and we look forward to an incredible season and being back here in Charlotte come December. So
Coach, thank you. So who would like our first question from our head coach? We will go left side, first row, and then we'll bounce around the room a little bit.
Coach Dan Tortora, wakeupcalldt.com. How are you?
I'm doing outstanding, Dan.
To look at, you spoke about feeling good about being in the ACC. Commissioner speaking about the future, about the membership, about everybody being together in this unique world that we live in with the transfer portal, free agency essentially, the NIL, the house settlement. How are you addressing all of this as a head coach? Because a coach got a coach, but now you also have all these other elements of essentially recruiting the players that you have while you're recruiting new players at the same time.
Yeah, it's a 24/7 job here nowadays. It's a little different than when I arrived in Pittsburgh in 2015. I think there's so many other options on the board as far as what you're doing, how you're doing it. But, you know, that's why you surround yourself with incredible staff. That's why I'm so fortunate, you know, to have Joan Gable there to help you guide from above, and Alan Green and everybody in our athletic department helping you, like, hey, we got suggestions. I mean, you got tools. You know, a head football coach without an offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, or special teams coordinator isn't very good. You know, you can't do it all by yourself. So you have tools. And again, all those things, all this, you know, the different circumstances that are happening in college football. I think, number one, we're, you know, working towards a better path in college football. I think we're on the mend a little bit. I think the house settlement, the revenue sharing is a better, you know, model. I think, you know, we get everything else under control. I feel good. But again, my job is to coach. You know, ultimately in the end, I want to coach these guys. This is where I have fun, and that remains my job. You know, I tell our guys all the time, I feel like I'm the Mike Tomlin on the other side of the building there. I want to be a football coach. I don't want to be an administrator. If I wanted to be an administrator or an AD, you know, I'd go be an AD, but I want to be a football coach. And, you know, I got other people to do some of the things that I don't want to do. So I know what I want to do. I want to coach football, and I want to have relationships with my players, and I want to have fun. And that's where the fun begins.
Coach, right side about the fifth row.
Brandon Pockers with the league winners. Heading into the 2025 season and really over the course of fall camp, what's the mentality you're hoping to instill in your overall roster, and what's the overall goal that you guys are shooting for?
Well, I'll you know, start with the last part of that question. Is the overall goal is to win a championship. Our guys break down on ACC champs every day. And just yesterday I said, hey, when we break down on that, let's, you know, it's July, you know, we're a week away, you know, from camp opening up. Like, you better mean it. And, you know, we don't just, you know, it's just not say it to say it. It's say it to mean it. And, you know, in the last 10 years, there's only been 3 teams win an ACC championship, and we're one of them. And that's the goal every single year. And I thought we could do it last year. I thought we could do it the year before. And I think we can do it now. Okay, I think we have a talented football team. Most of our weapons are back. We did not lose anybody that we, you know, wanted to keep in the transfer portal. You know, we've enhanced our roster. So, you know, we stay healthy. God bless you. We stay healthy again. We stay healthy. God bless you again, just in case. But I'm good. I don't get sick. But if we stay healthy, I think we have an opportunity to win a championship, period. And that's the goal. And then, you know, when we win a championship, I tell players all the time, we're going to the playoffs. And that's your only guaranteed way of getting into the playoffs. You know, I don't care, 12, 15, 18. It doesn't matter. You know, but you win an ACC championship, we're in the playoffs. And that's where the fun begins.
Coach, left side, third row, all the way to the left.
Coach, good afternoon. Katrina, Sports and Culture Media. You've gone on record as to wanting to play West Virginia and Penn State every single year. What is the significance of playing those 2 games to you, and do you believe there's an actual possibility in the near future?
Yes, we'll stick with West Virginia today because they're on our schedule and we get to play them game 3 on 9/13. But I think with the way the college landscape's going, the conferences are kind of exploded, and we got teams from the West Coast that are in the Atlantic Coast Conference. I think those regional rivalry games are critical. Our players look forward to playing West Virginia every year. That's a rivalry game that will end after this year. I think maybe 3 years it picks back up. So we do have a 4-game stretch. If you guys have any power to maybe see if we can get them in the next 3 years, we're willing to make some movements in our schedule and try to get that done. I would love to play them every year. To have at least one rivalry game, which is West Virginia right now. We'd love to have them on. And again, that's what the game is all about. Those regional rivalries, it brings fans in. The fans love it. Our players love it. It's intense. There's no love lost. That's what it's all about. That's college football.
Coach, right side, 5th row, right in the middle.
Steve with College Football Sunday. Coach, with the extended playoff, recruiting, the transfer portal and all that, what would you like to see changed on the calendar to make it a little more?
I was going to see if we could get 13 months a year. That'd be the first thing that would help. That might be easier than making any changes anywhere else, right? 13 months, wouldn't that be great? If we could get that done, it'd be great to spread things out. June might be the worst month of the year. It used to be a pretty good month, but then you add in camps all over the place. Camps on your on your campus. You throw in the possibility of having 3 or 4 official visit weekends. And we also like to coach too. We like to have workouts with our players and be around them and go watch them in the weight room. That doesn't happen anymore like it used to. There was times where we used to go stand down in the weight room and watch our guys for an hour. Hey, the DBs are going to be down there. Hey, DB coach, go down there and watch them and talk to them and just have fun with them. It doesn't happen like it used to be. Thank God we have an incredible strength staff to take care of that and be with our players every day. So I don't know if I answered your question, but if I didn't, you can give me a second question.
Coach, we'll stay on the right-hand side. We'll go 2nd row, then 3rd row.
Coach Najee Wilkins with Georgia Tech on SI. Just question about your sophomore quarterback. Led you guys to a 7-0 start. I know your defense is really good, but just talk about his growth you've seen from him just in camp. Obviously, I know fall camp is right around the corner, but what have you seen from Holstein just in his growth? Yeah,
great question. I appreciate that. The defense is not okay yet. We still got a long way to go. Okay, so you got that, Kyle. We can make improvements in every phase of our game. I mean, there's 3 phases: offense, defense, and special teams that are important. We got to take care of the inches better and finish a lot of different things. But going back to the first part of that question, Eli Holstein's had a great off season. He's had an incredible summer with our football team. He went through all spring ball, got 15 days in. I can't tell you he was completely healthy. He was still banged up from a season-ending injury during the season. Took him a little longer than we expected or hoped, but he is back. He's about 224 pounds, ripped up, and we're excited about round 2 with him. We didn't expect. Last year I sat at this podium talking about a different guy, and did not expect him to take the reins like he did a year ago. So he is the ultimate competitor. Okay, I think when game day comes around, that's his deal. And you know what? And then when it comes down to 4th quarter, when the game's on the line, that's a guy that you want taking every snap and touching that ball, when it counts. So we've got a ton of respect for him. There's pressures on him, and again, I think year 2 with him under center, or maybe behind center, I should say. We don't go under center very often, but with him back there, it's going to be even better. We're excited about the future with him, and we're excited about the other guys in that room as well. We got a couple really good football players behind him. Mason Heinschult and Cole Gonzalez are 2 other guys that are going to be competing as well in that room.
Keep your focus there. The gentleman right behind him.
Kenton Gibbs with Locked On ACC. Coach Narduzzi, you have consistently put out linebacking core after linebacking core of dominant performers, whether or not you've had great seasons or some somewhat underwhelming seasons at Pitt. That has been a trademark of Pitt at this point. What is it that you do, or that you coach in particular, that creates these outstanding linebacking cores that you all continue to have?
Well, we have one of those outstanding All-Americans. We have 2 All-Americans up here today, but one of those is an All-American linebacker, Kyle Lewis. On the other side of the field with him is Rasheem Biles, Heem, nickname, and then in the middle, Braylon Lovelace. Those three might be the three best linebackers. Okay, I'll say that, the three best linebackers in the country on the field at the same time, and they'll be on the field every down. They don't come off the field on third down. We don't take one of our linebackers out on third down and put a DB in there and go nickel. We take out a D lineman. We're not taking any of those linebackers off the field. Matter of fact, we may play with 5 or 6 linebackers this year. That linebacker core, Coach Manlack's done a great job of not only recruiting but developing those guys. But I think when you look at our linebacking crew, you look at the development, but I also think it's partly schemed. Some of the things we do, like when Kyle Lewis is to the field, we're going to blitz him. Like a lot of times the field linebacker, we're going to find different ways to blitz him. I don't care if there's 3 open out there, we're going to blitz him this year. And so we're going to find different ways to bring him into pressures. But it's the aggressiveness of our defense, the opportunity to let those guys' instincts take over in a game. We're not a gap-oriented team per se, and a lot of defenses are, hey, I got the A gap, I got to stay in the A gap. We're an attack front up front, and our linebackers are going to find the hole. I mean, Kyle Lewis, you've seen him take a couple interceptions and run with the ball. He's as good as any tailback in the country probably as well, but he has a great ability to key the football, find the hole, and hit the guy with the ball. And that ability to loosen up and just let those guys have free reins to go find the ball and find a hole, and not necessarily, I don't care if our linebackers know what gaps are. And somebody may not know what an A gap, a B gap, C gap, or a D gap is, but we want Kyle Lewis to go to the ball. The ball is the main thing, and we're aggressive with what we do, whether it's in base defense or with our pressures. And, again, we've not only had, I'll throw this out there, we've not only had just linebackers get drafted, and whether it's Servassier, Dennis, but we've had guys drafted. When in my 10 years, we've had 31 guys drafted. In the last 5 years, we've had 20 guys drafted. So my first 5, just 11, and then as we continue to recruit and develop our players, we've had 20 in the last 2 years, and 17 of those guys have been high school players, not transfers. Only 3 transfers have come in and gone off to the NFL. So, and again, that transfer number will probably go up because the portal's become increasingly more effective for us and for everybody in the country. So I think we've developed NFL talent more than anybody in the country, and to me that's a tribute to our players. They're buying into what we do, our scheme, and again our coaches, our assistant coaches, developing our players, fundamentally and give them an opportunity to make plays.
We're going to squeeze in one last question for Coach, right up the center aisle, 6th row to the right.
Brian Nagano of the Daily Tar-Heel. Coach, you've talked about the ACC conference as a whole. What was kind of your reaction to Bill Belichick taking the head coaching job at North Carolina, and what does it mean for the ACC as a conference?
Is this a Pitt question or is this a North Carolina question? Bill Belichick, one of the greatest coaches ever to coach the game. Won 6 Super Bowls with the New England Patriots. I've enjoyed conversations with him, whether it be at Amelia Island or in Zoom calls with ACC coaches. He's a tremendous football coach, really smart, and again, he adds a lot of flavor and excitement to the ACC. And again, when you look at Bill Belichick coming to the Atlantic Coast Conference, it just tells you how attractive our conference is.